Hello everybody and welcome back to Lace's Dungeon. Today's story is our favorite session. Absolute chaos, bad rolls, and everything goes wrong. Or at least our favorite session to talk about. TLDR at the end. 5th edition D&D. The cast is thus. Me, Raziel, an elf rogue assassin. Pavel, a human bard and the story's protagonist. Randall, a human fighter. Thok, a half-orc fighter. The DM, as the DM. Two important pieces of background info then, onto the story. 1. Out of game, we knew Pavel was possessed by a demon and slowly turning evil. In game, we had no idea. 2. This was my very first session as Raziel, as my previous character had been killed the previous session in a very violent fashion. My character meets the party in an inn while they are grieving my previous character. I am introduced as having saved an important NPC and have been hired to the party as a result. We are then told we have some downtime by the NPC. As we are deliberating what to do, Pavel receives a letter from a former trainer in his home city. The letter says that Pavel's father, the lord of the province, wants to reinstitute slavery in the province, and that Pavel should come home at once to stop this from happening. None of us really know that area too well, and we all have a very anti-slavery view, so we decided to head out there with all haste. On the way to the province, Pavel tells us the plan is to assassinate the Lord, his father, by the way, so Pavel can seize the throne and prevent the new rise of slavery. This sets off alarm bells to my character, but he is an assassin, so he decides to roll with it, and thus we arrive at Winterstone, in the house of Starog. We are introduced to the guy that sent the letter, Luther, and to the Lord and Lady Starog, who seem like decent people, if a little rude, and who never once bring up the slavery thing. But whatever, maybe business is saved for later. A feast is planned for Pavel's return, and we devise our plan. I will brew up a potion, and then disguise myself as kitchen staff to poison the king's goblet. Meanwhile, Pavel will plant the poison vial in Luther's room to frame him, allowing a clean path to the throne. Thok and Randall will just do whatever and try not to act suspicious. Phase 1. The poison. I brew up a hyper-lethal poison. My roll in the check was a 21. But when I make my disguise, I roll an 8. Not good. I will have to move fast, so I head down to the kitchen, find the goblets, and poison one. But because of my poor disguise roll, people begin to notice me, so I hurry and set the goblets on the table without checking where the lord and lady are sitting. Then I have to run, or risk being found. Phase 2. The frame job. Pavel heads down to Luther's room, and surprise, he's in there. Luther is suspicious of Pavel suddenly being interested in the throne. So they have a dialogue, and Pavel decides to slip the vial into Luther's bed mid-conversation. Cue stealth versus perception rolls. No reaction from Luther. Looks like a success. Pavel heads back to the room, and we prep for dinner. Randall made himself look suspicious by attempting to find a missing portrait of Pavel as a baby. Thok slept away the day, and so we head down to dinner. And when the lord and lady came in, I realized I have poisoned the wrong cup. Oh, crap. The lady grabs her goblet and toasts Pavel and his new companions, and clinks our glasses. And I try really hard to get the boys not to drink, because the poison was on her goblet rim. They get the message and turn the goblets or pretend to drink, but again, we look sus. At that point, the lady starts feeling ill and retires, and me, not knowing if she's gonna drop dead or not, follows her, but loses her. Sus. We continue talking, and tension rises as we discover Pavel and his dad hate each other because Pavel never had interest in the throne. What? Then a messenger comes to the king. The king tells the party that he has a gift for us, and to follow him. Luther asks Pavel to remain behind. Crap. We are promptly led to the dungeons and told the lady has been poisoned. Swords come out and we promptly surrender. Randall is not present yet. He is looking for the portrait. Still. Meanwhile, Luther confronts Pavel with the poison vial he saw Pavel plant. So Pavel attacks him and misses every single attack. And loses. Knocked out. Taken to his old bedroom. Thok and I are brought in for interrogation. Lord Starog tells us he has figured out that Pavel wanted to poison him and frame Luther. He asks if we are involved. Now, Thok's player and I silently look at each other, trying to figure out if we should lie. We take too long, and the DM counts down. 3, 2, 1. Thok says yes, I say no. I immediately reverse course and make up some BS story about trying to protect my friends, and that yes, we knew he wanted the guy dead, but that we did not participate in the plot. Deception check 15 versus insight 14. The only really good thing to happen here. We tell the Lord that the only reason we came is because Pavel got a letter from Luther that said the Lord wanted to bring back slavery. Luther tells us he never sent any letter. What? Lord Starog then revealed that he had never had any intention of bringing back slavery. We, as players, were shook. Turns out that Pavel had arranged to send himself that letter and fooled us. And now Raziel is pissed. Randall gets brought in by guards at this point. Dumbass never found the portrait. Meanwhile, Pavel is stuck in his bedroom, but manages to sneak out the window, and has a chance to make a break for it, but wants to F over Dad one last time instead. So he heads back to the throne room and bursts in and tries to commit suicide with his family ring. He only has 1 HP, so not hard, right? Nat 1. He swallows the ring and starts choking. Lord Starog turns to my character and says, I am willing to let you go, but first, you are an assassin, correct? Then prove it. Use that bow. Execute this boy. Well, crap. By your command, my lord. Turns around and shoots him. 18. My very first session as Raziel, I killed another PC. We were probably told to leave and never come back. At the boat, the other 2 PCs react very badly to what Raz did, because for some reason, they like the sniveling little schemer, and those 2 characters hated Raz until Raz left the campaign. And so it ends. TLDR, PC sends himself a fake letter that sends out on a side quest in which everything that can go wrong goes wrong, resulting in the death of a PC, the hatred of another, and our permanent banishment from an entire realm. So today's story was a little bit more of an actual story than a horror story, it seems, even though they put it in a horror story section. But if I'm honest, I liked reading it. It was very interesting and fun. It was like reading an actual, story. Let me know if you like these types of things, because I can start doing horror stories and just plain fun stories of people having fun in D&D. Just let me know, and I'll see you next time at Lisa's Dungeon.